Hey guys, it's Plasma Screen, and this week we have Red Sun Green Lantern as our challenge character. And so we're going to be talking about the entire Red Sun team today. And I'm going to show you how to use all 6 of them. I do not have Red Sun Deathstroke, but he's pretty much just a tank, so not too hard on that one. But let's go ahead and get right into it. There are 6 Red Sun characters. Each one performs a little differently, but I think, in my opinion, the very best one is this one right here, Red Sun Superman. This is the best carry out of all Red Sun characters. No one comes close. He's also the strongest one, highest damage, has best special 2, best special 1, and even his passive is pretty helpful, despite you, for the most part, going for special attacks. So he has base 1000 damage, and he has, I think, 1100 health, minus max damage and max crit, so he gets up to 61k damage. And he hits very hard, not just with the specials, but with his basics as well. If you want to use a Red Sun team, someone needs to be the carry, and like I said, this is the best one. So, the way to gear him, this is a little strange, because his special 1 does not actually chain from the Master's Death card. However, it does chain from his heavy combo. The trick to making this work is you tag him in, you go for the heavy combo immediately upon tagging in, and then you go right into special 1 after that 3rd hit is over, and then you get punched to the ground, and you want to get 195% on that minigame. Do not get 200%. This is really weird, but for some reason, when you get 200% and you try to chain the special 1 from the heavy combo, it will miss, but if you go lower than that, it will connect. And I can show you that in a little bit. But this allows you to tag in and get 2 bars. The alternative to this is using Razor Scimitar instead of Master's Death card, which I don't like. I hate having to use carries like this, because if you somehow lose all your power and you have to tag in again later, you're only going to tag in with 1 bar of power because you just have Totem. So that you only get 1 bar from Rags at the start of the fight. And if you lose it, then you don't get it back. So I prefer having this because it makes it easier for you to get more power if you need it. Also, this allows you to, if needed, you can use your special 2 as well. Upon tagging, like say you're fighting the Blackest Night team, where they're going to resurrect from a special 1 because it's just 1 hit. You can go for a special 2, which is very good. It's 3 hit, 2 KO, sometimes 3 KO. Now, like, you might think, what do you mean sometimes? There's, like, certain characters that, for some reason, they will actually get hit by that 2nd hit of a special 2 after the 1st hit gets a KO. Most characters will not get hit by it, and it'll just be 3 hit, 2 KO at most, but if you fight certain ones, it'll be 3 hit, potential 3 KO, which is great. It's fantastic. But it's not quite as reliable because there's only certain ones this is going to happen to. The characters it's going to happen to are Jessica Cruz, for sure, Suicide Squad Deadshot, and New 42 Nightwing, I believe. Those are the only ones that I've seen so far. Could be others. So far, where they do get hit by his like heat vision on the 2nd hit by special 2. And so if you hit them with that and it lands unblocked and it crits, it can knock them out, and the next person comes in, and if they get hit by that unblocked crit 3rd hit, you very well could knock out an entire team with 1 special 2. And on that topic, if you wanted to make him a special 2 carry, because he is still a pretty good special 2 carry and one of the best ones of the Red Sun team, I would do probably this. You might wonder, well, why not just use this? Because number 1, he can chain his heavy combo into his special 2. And number 2, you may possibly use Red Sun Wonder Woman with him, so therefore you don't need extra power generation from something like Demonic Cloak. And you can use Demon Blade on that team. But you would use Demon Blade in that instance because you can go for the heavy combo and then chain it into special 2. Unlike special 1, you do not have to worry about getting any kind of specific percentage. You can get 200% just fine, and it's all good. So that is 2 very good setups you could use for Red Sun Superman. You could also alternatively use this. If you're going to use this, you could shatter Astral Harnesses with a special 1 and change the totem over and over and over. You can only do about 3 special 1s on an Astral Shield with Superman characters that have 1-hit special 1s. I think 3, maybe 2 at least. Depends on how upgraded their Astros are. Because if it's not as quite upgraded, then it's not going to be active. The barriers are not going to stay up for as long. So you won't be able to get as many off on the shields. But I have tried this, and this is perfectly fine if you wanted to do that. And a notable thing Red Sun Superman can do is, because Special 1 is so strong, from it being one hit, it's going to do about 120,000 damage. That is a bypass versus a health threshold, such as Noof 2 Shazam, John Stewart, Astro Harnesses, Raven Primes. But if for some reason it's not, like maybe they have a lot of health or some kind of like damage reduction gear set up, or fourth row gears, for example, something like that, you can soften them up with his very powerful heavy attacks from his passive. And these, when they're critting, and he's high stats, and he's got Red Sun teammates, they're going to hit really hard. So you can soften the opponent up so that they have taken a lot of damage, and then go for Special 1 after that to make sure you get that bypass right through that health threshold. This is mainly really helpful against Astro Harness users, because 120k is good, but it's not going to bypass all Astro users. It's going to be some that have particularly high HP, and getting some chip damage on them with this heavy combo can help you, secure that one shot on that Astro Harness user. So that way you do not even have to tag into your support to knock them out. That's really nice. So that is Superman. And then we have, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the challenge character for this week. We have Red Sun Green Lantern. This is a really nice character to use on Red Sun teams because his passive is just super helpful. It makes it so the entire Red Sun team takes 20% less damage from special attacks and super moves. Does not list that here, but it is for both specials and super moves. And it also makes you immune to stun and crit. This makes you have the safest teams like ever. And it's really difficult for you to actually lose if you have a Red Sun Green Lantern Red Sun team, because you don't get crit and you can't get stunned. So you're not worried about Luchador Bane, Earth 2 teams, Arcanite Batgirl, some random like 4th World Golly Helmet user stunning you on tagging and then one-shotting you, or LessCorp set user with the gauntlet stunning you. None of that. None of that's going to happen. The most notable out of those is fighting an Arcanite Batgirl team. I hate fighting her so much because she can tag in, stun you with her passive, and then she could get a bar power or 2 and stun you with her special 1 or start going crazy with special 2. This basically makes it so none of that's going to happen. You will not get stunned by her specials. So that is really, really nice. Makes fighting those teams just a breeze. He is a tank for the Red Sun team, so I would definitely use the Astro Harness and 4th World set combo. If you wanted to use him for, say, Survivor, or maybe using him in story mode, I will mention that if you are going to use Batman Ninja helmets and Killer Croc Panic Card Evolved and Scarecrow's Mask, you can make him immune to specialist wall blocking with only a little bit of power. It's only a little under a bar power, and then he can be completely immune to specialist wall blocking. So that is really, really cool. Even Elite 0, he'll take literally 0 from specials. That's really nice. Really good tank to use in Survivor, especially in those later rounds when they hit really, really hard with the specials. This is super nice for those fights. But generally, you're just going to use Astro 4th World. You could make him a carry, but he is not quite as good as Red Sun Superman because he has less damage. And also his special 1 is not as good. It is still one hit, but it is a meter burn special 1, which means it takes a lot longer to use. But he does similarly have a 3-hit, 2 KO special 2 that also changed the Massive Death card. And his passive, of course, is really cool. I will say the benefit for you doing that is you could make a team that has Red Sun Green Lantern as carry, Red Sun Batman as support, and then Red Sun Wonder Woman as the tank. That would be a pretty cool little combo, because if you have Superman, then you don't get the power generation, or the you gotta have Batman all the time because he's the best support. But if you have the best carry being Superman with Batman, you want Green Lantern because that passive is amazing. So if you use Wonder Woman or somebody else, then you lose the armor passive from Lantern. That's kind of awkward. So I like to always have Lantern on my Red Sun teams because it's just too good to pass up. And speaking of Batman, we can talk about him real quick. He is right around here. Okay, there he is. So, like I said, this is the best support for all the Red Sun characters. He's the best at shattering gears because he is a Batman character. You can apply 2 gear effects on the special one. And you can also not only, be really good at shattering gears, but you can apply DOT very well, on top of that. So a setup like this is really, really nice for you to be applying a DOT and shattering gears. You can also, get even more DOT by, using Quick Engine or Let's Go Pelmets. Those are some examples. And this is in particular is really nice alongside Red Sun Wonder Woman because Red Sun Wonder Woman gives the entire team power generation. And so if you have even just 2 Red Sun characters, you'll get 30% power generation from, say, Batman and Wonder Woman, which is a really, really good combo for any team, not even just a Red Sun team. You can use a different third character who's not even Red Sun and pair him alongside, Batman and Wonder Woman. And that character will get 30% power gen, which is super helpful for any team, And for Batman, he'll get 30% from Wonder Woman because he's a Red Sun character as well, and then he'll get an additional 20% from Ibistic. So now he's got 50% power gen from Ibistic and then the Red Sun Wonder Woman combo. And you could stack that with even more if you wanted to. Like you can use the League of Assassin Knives for even more power gen as 30% from there. Or Heart of Darkness gives you DOT on that as well. You could use Red Ghost Scimitar. This is a very standard setup right here. That way you get a bar power right away. You can use Let's Go Pelmet for more DOT. This in particular is really nice if you are using Red Sun Green Lantern because the Let's Go Pelmet's block buff combined with Red Sun Green Lantern's passive will make Batman even low promoted very, very, very tanky. So that's really nice to help you protect your support. This is a setup I like using a lot. Enchantress is a really good combo to use, here because of all the power generation once you use multiple specials. So the skulls can help you apply gear effects. It's very easy to get 2 bars and be able to do that because of the sheer amount of power gen. So this is definitely something you could use, or even this. And you could actually, if you somehow had enough promotions for this, you could use Red Sun Batman as a carry. I do not have the promotions to do that yet, but that is something that interests me a whole lot. When the Eternal Enemies pack, which is where you can get the copies to do this, comes in about like a month or so, I will be opening a whole bunch of those packs in hopes of getting enough Red Sun Batman copies to get them Elite 10. So I may be testing that out. If you were going to use Red Sun Batman as a carry, I would absolutely make him a utility carry because he has a special one that can apply gear effects up to 2 times. So he's a utility carry that can shatter up to 2 gears, and he can also have a special 2 that I believe can knock out an entire team. It's like 5 hit, 3 KO. If I remember correctly, it kind of is like similar to Teen Titans Raven Special 2, to where like the last hit is the strongest. I believe it chains Massive Death Card. Sometimes it doesn't, but you can chain it from 2 hits of his light combo. So that is a way to chain. You can tag in, go for 2 hits of his light combo, and then special 2, and land unblocked, and you go from there. So that's a good way to make him use as a carry if you wanted to do that. If you did not want to use him as support for some reason, you can absolutely make Red Sun Batman a carry, but it's very hard to do because you need a lot of promotions. You have to open that pack a whole bunch of times, and his challenge has not been here in many, 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 many years. So that's all you can do if you were wanting to explore that avenue. But if you're going to do that, I would use Red Sun Batman, and then with Wonder Woman and Green Lantern, that would be the best way to use a Red Sun Batman carry team. You get the power generation from Wonder Woman, super nice, and the armor from Green Lantern, also very appreciated. And speaking of Wonder Woman, we can go ahead and talk about her. And when paired with Red Sun Batman, like I said, you do get 30% power duration. If by chance you have a full Red Sun trio team, you actually get 45% power gen, which is crazy. That is super high. So she is a really nice tank to use on a Red Sun team because of the extra power gen. Very, very nice and appreciated. I also like using Red Sun Wonder Woman even on teams that are not Red Sun, because even with just 15% power generation from her passive, you can, I like to have her on teams that do not need a whole lot of power generation. Like maybe they just need a little bit. Like I don't need to use some like Animated Harley Quinn or Regime Green Lantern, or 600 Wonder Woman. Like, I just need a little bit of power gen to make the team a little bit better. Maybe it's like just need a little bit more, and then we're really getting somewhere. We really got maybe a problem fixed. So that's really helpful. I like to use this in particular with Black Knight Doomsday, because even though he has League of Assassin Knives, it helps him get to 2 bars faster. And once I get to 2 bars, then I do my special 1. So the faster you get to 2 bars, the faster you can go for special 1 right away on tagging. And I don't need a crazy amount of power generation there. I just need a little bit more. So this, in combination of League of Assassin Knives, will give me the 45% power gen for Doomsday. And that's really helpful for him. You could also make Red Sun Wonder Woman a special 1 carry. And she is one of the better Red Sun carries because she has a 1-hit special 1 that changed Master Death card. Also changed for her heavies. And combination of Master Death card plus Totem plus the League of Assassin Knives, that is a very, very good setup for Red Sun Wonder Woman. Because unlike Superman, she can actually chain the special 1 from her from the Master Death card. So that's really nice for ease of use and also for speed. And special 2, it's got some reduced damage on it, so I'm not sure if I recommend using special 2. It's not quite as strong, as the average special 2. They made it a little bit weaker because of the minigame, the one that was like those little circles that pop up on the screen like bubbles, and you have to tap them. For some reason, characters that have that minigame have weaker specials, and she's one of them. So if you're going to use her, I recommend special 1 build instead of special 2. And on a team like that, I would do Wonder Woman carry, Batman support, and Green Lantern as the tank. And I also want to mention that, I forgot to say this, but Red Sun Batman also gets a special 1 that has a 30% chance to break blocks, and also makes the entire Red Sun team have the same benefit, so that when you're going for special 1s with Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, whoever, you can break blocks. And there's a very interesting synergy here because you can like break the block with the first or second hit with special 1 and then stun them, basically stunning them through their block. So that's kind of crazy. That's really helpful. Red Sun Batman in particular, if you did not use him on a Red Sun team, he's really good at Luchador Bane, because sometimes Luchador Bane does not get that stun on tagging, and he's got a high chance to do it, but it's not all the time. So having a character that can stun for him, and also shatter gears and apply DOT like Batman, that would be really nice. And a cool little thing here is if you have the Master's Death card on Red Sun Batman on a setup like that, the Master's Death card can actually make the tag-in bullets when he tags in, and the Death card passive activates. He can actually make those tag-in bullets break block if he goes for a special 1 right away. And so even if somebody is just sitting there blocking, he can break their block by using a special 1 right away on tag-in, and then stun them through their block because they're not blocking anymore. It's got broken by the tag-in shots. Stun them through their block with special 1 and apply DOT and shatter gears, and you go right into Luchador Bane and just knock him out. So even if Bane was not going to stun with his passive or his gears, you could stun with Batman, and that'd be a tremendous help for Bane. That'd be a really good setup there. So that is some extra things you can do for Red Sun Batman. And I believe there's like one more that I have here. And that is Red Sun Solomon Grundy. Now, he is a bit of a weird character, so you can either use him as a tank or maybe a support. So if you had like Superman, Green Lantern, maybe you didn't want to use Batman with Superman, maybe you want to use him somewhere else, you could do like a team of Grundy, Superman, Green Lantern. That would give you up to 45% increased health for the Red Sun team. So Superman, with that 40% increased health and armor from Red Sun, Green Lantern, you would make him just so unbelievably tanky. He would just never die to anything, ever. Just with a massive HP stat from Grundy and also the armor from Green Lantern. So he's not getting crit, and he has just tremendous health stats. So that's really cool. And so on that build, I would use Grundy as like a support. I'd use him with Claw of Horse. Probably like Claw of Horse and Ibistic and Enchantress, because he can only apply 1 gear effect on special 1. Or you could maybe use him as a tank if you want to do it with Astro 4th World. But you could actually use him as a carry because there are some things that Red Sun Grundy has going for him. His special 1 is 1 hit. That's really good. And his special 2 is 2 hit, 2 KO. That is really good. In fact, he has one of the strongest 2 hit, 2 KO special 2s in the game. Those are very rare, and also very, very good. Because the fewer hits a special 2 has, the more damage each individual hit will do. If there's just 2 of them, both of those individual hits will hit very, very hard. For reference, my Regime Wonder Woman, who I have max damage and max crit, if she goes for a special 2 and it crits, each hit is going to do 145,000 damage. Now, Red Sun Grundy, if he is Elite 10 max damage, mine's not, but if you did have one that was, he would actually hit harder than that because when he's max damage, he has like 60k damage, which is higher than Regime Wonder Woman because his damage is actually higher. And, that would be very, very good because at 145k damage, you're already a great, bypass special. You're already having a very easy time getting around those annoying health thresholds like Astro Harness, John Stewart shields, Nuke to Shazam, etc. But if you're even stronger, like Grundy is, you have even easier time getting around those things. And so, because you really want that special 2 to crit so you can bypass all the time, you want to have a build focused around that. With these 2 gears and max crit augments, you will get a 100% crit chance on special 2. 30 from here, 30 from here, and of course 40 or 50 from, the augments. And then I would probably do this. Grundy special 2 is a little weird. If he tags in with the Master's Death card, and in that instance I would use either Demonic Cloak if you don't have Wonder Woman, or Demon Blade if you do. Like, if you go for his special 2 and you use the Master's Death card and use special 2 right away, you can chain the first hit from Death card, but if they survive, either you don't knock them out or they resurrect, the second hit can miss. So in order to prevent the special 2 from missing that second hit, I think it's best if you use Red Skull Scimitar instead of Master's Death card, which is fine, means you can use Death card on Batman. But this is your best shot at making sure all your special 2 hits will land. And you might also think, hey, you said he has a 1-hit special 1, why don't you use that? And you could. The issue there is his special 1 is weaker than normal. He has, for a lot of the Solomon Grundy characters, they have weaker special 1s than normal. They have reduced damage on them. Instead of doing 66% of his damage stat like a normal special 1 carrier would do, he does 49.5%. So it's weaker than a normal special 1 carrier. Because for some reason, the Injustice developers just don't like Solomon Grundy and try to make him weak. Try to make a lot of the Grundys weak characters, except for Earthshoe Grundy, who's the only exception to that. His just does not have reduced damage special 1, but Red Sun Grundy does. But it still does decent damage if you were to have all his augments, and maybe you even include a damage increase character like Batman Prime on his team if you want to give him some more damage to that. But if you're gonna use a special 1 build for some reason, I would do this. I would not actually use the Master's Death card on that setup because Grundy's special 1, Red Sun Grundy, he attacks with a different kind of weapon. Most Grundys have cleavers they use. Because he's Russian themed, he's a Red Sun character, they make him attack with a sickle. And the reason why you don't want to use the Master's Death card on this particular Solomon Grundy is because that weapon they made him use, that sickle, because of its different design, it's actually shorter than the cleaver he normally pulls out for his special 1 than his attacks. So it actually can miss with the Master's Death card if you try to go for a special 1 right away on tagging. And that would then make you waste your bar power and you wouldn't get it back from Tainted Totem. Because it will consider the Master's Death card tagging shots as part of the special. And so if you were to use it right away and fail to land it, it would not get refunded his power. Because it will think that the death cart shots were part of the special, and because they did damage, even though the sickle did not do damage, it will not refund power because it thinks that the special one did damage, even though the actual, special one that he didn't do damage. So I would use this if you wanted to go for special one carry build. I would use this to make sure you do not miss that sickle, attack. It does do decent damage, but it's not the strongest special one build for all the Red Sun characters. You would be better off going for Wonder Woman or Superman or even Green Lantern, because theirs are stronger, and some of them can even chain from that Death Guard, or at least chain from the heavies and then use special one after that. And finally, now I don't have Red Sun Deathstroke, but I can tell you, pretty easy way to use them. So we're gonna go over ahead and just use Regime Flash because the passive is pretty much the same. Red Sun Deathstroke's passive is he gives 5% attack speed for the Red Sun team, and even more upon every Red Sun character added to the team. So at a maximum of 15%. Regime Flash is just 15% right away. You don't need to add characters to increase the percent. It's just right away, 15% attack speed increase. So what I would probably do is, if I were going to use them, I would use them on a team of Red Sun Superman as the carry. So I would do Batman, Superman, Deathstroke. And like I said, you do use Superman when he's special one carry. You go for that heavy combo and then do the special one. You could use Red Sun Deathstroke to speed up that heavy combo so that you do it even faster, and thus you get your special one faster on tagging, and also therefore making you win matches faster because you're attacking faster, you're using special ones faster because you're chaining it faster from this heavy combo. So it can kind of be helpful. It's not quite as good as Red Sun Green Lantern, not quite as a safety benefit. It's more of just a speed benefit. It is helpful, but maybe you want to use a different Red Sun character for the team. But that is something you could do, and if you would do that, I would just make him a tank with Astro Harness in 4th World. Red Sun Deathstroke is not a good carry. His special one is 3 hits instead of 1 hit. That's not very good. It means because there's multiple hits, the individual hits won't hit that hard. It'd be one thing if it was a 3-hit special 2, but it's not. It's 3-hit special 1, which is a lot worse. You can get away with 2-hit special 1. That's not so bad, but 3 hits. That's no. You don't want to do that, because the 1-hit special 1s, they're gonna get around the health thresholds. But if there's multiple hits, each hit is not gonna do that much damage, and you're not gonna be able to do that. And as special 2s, the other Red Sun characters are better at it, because they have fewer hits. So you're better off just using Superman or even Green Lantern. Batman's a different story because his special 2, it can knock out a whole team, and he also has a really good special 1 that applies gear effects multiple times. Deathstroke does not, so I think he'd be better in that regard. But that's basically how I would use Deathstroke. I don't have him because the only way you can get him is from the real money Red Sun pack, and even then it's not guaranteed because there's only a certain chance to get each individual Red Sun character. So if you were to spend $20 on the pack, you're not even guaranteed to get him. It's just not worth it. And I'm not really needing him that bad, so I don't mind not having him. It's not that crazy. But yeah, that's about all I can say about the Red Sun team. This is a very, very fun team. I've always really loved the Red Sun characters, even since the game first came out, because they're just so cool and so rare, and we love rare characters. They're really hard to get. A lot of them you can only get from either the Gold Booster Pack or, in some cases, the Eternal Enemies Pack for Red Sun Batman, or basically Red Sun Green Lantern is the only one you can guarantee get because his challenge actually does come in the cycle. But the other ones do not. A bunch of them are only available in the Gold Booster Pack, and Batman's challenge doesn't come anymore. Deathstroke challenge doesn't come anymore. So really all you can do is just open packs, hoping that you get lucky, which is it's a real pain to do. I just spent so many credits trying to get Red Sun Superman, but I'm very glad that I have him because this is one of my favorite characters in the entire game. But I can go ahead and show you a little team. real quick, because I know the video's going to end soon when we're out of storage space. This might be in the end. Right here. Okay, so I just want to make sure that you guys know how to chain a special one from its heavies before the video ends. So we're going to play a match, maybe a few, just so you can get the hang of it. Okay, here's some helmets right here. And I'm just going to leave it like that. Alright, let's go. Bro, you good? Stop. Stop it. No.